It started with fog. Thick, wet, white fog that rolled in off the hills like a living thing. Laura Jessup had lived in Merriweather her entire life and had never seen fog like that. It was summer, June. Fog in June was unheard of. She stood at her bedroom window, watching the way it slithered through the pines behind her backyard. It was heavy, unnatural. Her neighbor's porch light flickered and vanished behind the mist. The air felt colder too. Wrong. That morning, Laura found a new road behind her house. A road that wasn't there before. A narrow gravel path, overgrown with weeds, cut through the forest and curved into the fog. She could swear it hadn't existed the day before. She asked her neighbor, old Mr. Gallows, about it. He looked at her for a long moment, lips tight. Then he said, "Some things are better left undiscovered." She laughed nervously, but he didn't smile. That night she dreamed of a door. A tall black door standing in the middle of the woods. Behind it, whispers. Laura worked as an assistant librarian at Merriweather College. She spent her days cataloging rare books and answering inane student questions. But that day, her thoughts kept drifting back to the road. On her lunch break, she pulled out a topographic map of the region from the archives. The path wasn't on it. She dug deeper. County records, historical overlays, even satellite images from the past decade. Nothing. The road had simply appeared. She printed out the most recent map, circled the area and stared at it for a long time. And then she noticed something strange. The ink at the edge of the map, near where the road would be, was smudged. Almost like it had been erased and redrawn, multiple times. That night she went back into the woods. The fog was still there. The road was still there. And this time, there was something at the end of it. A house. It stood tall and thin, like it had been stretched. 3 stories of decaying Victorian architecture, all sharp angles and long windows. Shingles like black scales. The paint was peeling, the wood warped with age. It was utterly silent, and it hadn't been there yesterday. Laura approached, heart thudding. Something in her wanted to turn back, but something else, deeper and older, pulled her forward. The door opened before she touched it. Inside, the house was pristine. Polished floors, clean wallpaper, furniture covered in white sheets, untouched by dust. The air smelled faintly of roses. She stepped inside. The door closed behind her. The house was larger on the inside. Hallways stretched too far. Ceilings seemed too high. There were too many rooms for the exterior structure. She wandered, calling out, but the house swallowed her voice. One room in particular chilled her. The room had no windows. The light came from nowhere. A child's bedroom. Toys from another century. A rocking horse that still moved slightly. And a mirror, cracked down the middle. She stood before it. Her reflection did not move. She turned and ran. From that night onward, the whispers began, soft at first, in the walls, behind the mirror, beneath the floorboards. They called her name. They told her secrets she couldn't possibly know. That her father hadn't died in a car accident, but by suicide. That her mother had tried to drown her once, when she was 3. That she had a brother she had never met. Each one was confirmed, and every whisper ended the same way. Come back. We're not finished. She wasn't the only one. On an obscure online forum for urban temporal anomalies, she found a thread. Topic: houses that shouldn't be there. Over a dozen users described identical houses. Some had found them in cities, some in forests, some in abandoned lots. All described the same thing. A Victorian house. A door that opens by itself. A room with no sound. A mirror that doesn't reflect properly. One user, Veritas7, claimed the house was older than history. That it moved. That it fed. They said once you entered it, it never truly left you. Then they posted a warning. Don't answer the door after midnight. That's when it tries to come through you. The next time Laura entered the house, she wasn't alone. She found a man in the dining room, seated at the table, head down, dressed in 1940s fashion, skin pale, eyes closed. He opened them as she entered and whispered, "Don't listen to the wallpaper." She fled. In the hallway, she saw a woman standing at the top of the stairs, then a child in the kitchen, a boy with no mouth. They weren't ghosts. They were echoes. Trapped. She began to understand. The house collected people, held them like insects in amber. In the basement, she found a blueprint. It was burned but legible. It showed the house, but beneath it were levels. Dozens of them. Rooms with names like the Furnace, the Nursery of Bone, the Listening Vault. At the bottom, the architect's study, Beside it, a name, Felix Corwin. She found that name in a news clipping from 1904. Felix Corwin, a reclusive mystic who claimed to have built a house that could pierce the veil between worlds. The article ended with a quote, "I do not reside in the house. The house resides in me." Laura returned with tools. She broke through a wall behind the fireplace, found a stairwell spiraling downward, far deeper than any basement should go. Each level got colder, the whispers louder. She passed through rooms filled with bones, rooms where shadows moved on their own, rooms where her own thoughts turned against her. At the lowest level, she found the study, and a man. He looked like Felix Corwin. He smiled. "You've done well to come this far," he said. "Now you understand. The house isn't a place, it's a soul. And you, my dear, are the next frame." The door behind her vanished. The study grew dark. Weeks passed, or hours. Time meant nothing there. Laura felt her memories unraveling. Each room took a piece of her. Her favorite childhood song, her first kiss, her mother's face. And in return, the house grew warmer, stronger. It thanked her. "You are a fine addition." She saw others, wandering, blank-eyed. Former guests, now part of the walls. The wallpaper shifted with their faces. But Laura was different. She remembered something they had forgotten. She still had her name. Names have power. She carved hers into the wood of the house, into the door, the floor, the walls. With each carving, she felt herself grow lighter. The whispers screamed. The walls cracked. She found the mirror again. This time, her reflection smiled. It raised a hand. So did she. They shattered the glass together. Light poured through the cracks. The house howled, and she woke up. She was back in her bed, safe, whole. But the map on her wall had changed. A new road, a new location, a new mark. The house had moved on, but part of it remained in her. She heard footsteps when she was alone, whispers in her dreams, and sometimes, when she passed a mirror, her reflection lingered a little too long, waiting. They say the house still travels, that it finds people who need answers, who seek truth, no matter the cost. And once it has you, it never really lets you go. Not until it's your turn to open the door.